And I hear what you're saying, Ted, and I can absolutely testify that, over in the States, we here in Australia think that, we're a little bit behind the rest of the world sometimes in terms of, progress. But when it comes down to money and real estate and property and investing, you guys, it blew my mind that it's still very much the old method of doing things. Everyone cuts a check, everyone writes a check for everything. Checks in Australia are something that are so outdated, it's not even funny. So when you say to me that the websites 3 years ago weren't able to cope or didn't have the functionality to do what they do now, I can absolutely understand that. But however, if in 3 years they're where they need to be and people are sitting in Ghana doing deals in the US, this is hot. This is now. This is the time to be on board with a strategy like this, because, the opportunity, yes, was there before, but the ability to action that opportunity is now. I mean, from hearing everything you're saying to me, it just makes me super excited, because I feel like this is the time that, if you're on board with a strategy like this, you're in the right place at the right time, in my personal opinion.
Well, absolutely. And now, because we're finally coming online with all this, they can actually practice an auction without spending any money. They can practice it. And they let them say, oh, no, you did that wrong. You got to do it again. They let them practice, and then they have an auction.
Wow.
Yeah, and even if they decide to come here and go to an auction, at some of the auctions, they'll let them go out and go all around the property. They don't let people go inside the property, because they don't know if the structure is okay or anything. So they can go out and go all around. You can check out every property. First of all, you can do it all online from Australia. Then you can come here if you wanted to and go drive by it and check it before you have a bid on it. You can do it. So you take the risk. The risk used to be, the risk used to be that much. Now the risk is this much. Now there's always risk in investment. Now, no investment without risk, but this is as simple as a person could get it. And once you learn how to do it, here's the beauty. The beauty of this whole business is you can do this for the rest of your life. It's been around for 200 years. I didn't invent it. I brought this to market with a television infomercial 25 years ago. 25 years ago we did. And we just taught people to buy on the low end. Now we're teaching people to buy in the middle and on the high end. On the high end investor, people that have some money, or they get a little group together with money. I have people making $150,000 on one deal. Now, I can't promise anybody that, but I'm showing videos, real people doing that from outside the United States. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Yeah. So let me show one more video. And this man's name is Rene. He lives outside the United States, but I taught him in Canada. And he wanted to buy here. So he said, I want to go to the auction. I said, well, why don't you, it's about 4 hours on a jet from where he lived in Canada to Los Angeles. All right. What he did is he went to the auction, and I'm gonna let him talk in just a second. He went to the auction and he purchased 5 properties at the auction. 5. The value, according to the treasurer, not my value, the county treasurer said the value was $1,100,000. $1,100,000. He paid $83,000.
What?
8 cents on the dollar. Let's just watch his video. Here he comes.
My name's Renee. I now live in Vancouver.
So you looked at 100 properties and you bought 5. Have I got the numbers
Yep.
right? Okay. Now, how much money did you invest in that investment?
Just over 83,000.
83,000. Okay. All right. What was the value of those 5 properties according to the tax detector?
1.1 million.
Wow. A little homework goes a long way, doesn't it?
It does. But what's most important is to follow the TED system, step by step. What the coaches tell you and what the people tell you. But when you take a new system, start by knowing the system. Don't try and be creative until you've mastered the system. And his system, fantastic. That's why I master it.
So anybody can do what we're talking about.
Great. Well, one thing that really came to mind when you're speaking, Ted, is that the, the example you gave of the lady that made $150,000, but it took her 40 hours to do that. Now, a lot of people who are wanting to get into investing or wanting to do things in a different way to earn the money that's going to get them out of the 9 to 5 grind may look at that as a lot of work. They may think, oh, geez, I'm not going to sit there for 40 hours of my time and look up all these deals. But realistically, what people have to remember is it cost her 40 hours to make $150,000. Now, even if that was 10%, it was 40 hours to make 15 grand. I've got my hand up.
Exactly.
And I know that there's a lot of people out here in Australia that would say exactly the same thing. I mean, there aren't too many people that can say that they make 15 grand a week,
Exactly. Exactly.
And I'm sure there are some people out there, but it's all relative. And yeah, I just think that it really is such a doable strategy. And yes, you touched on the fact that nothing comes easy and you do have to put in the work. And I like that because, you're not selling a fly-by-night get-rich-quick scheme. This is real. This is tangible. This is something that is achievable, and I love that. And there's proven track record and results, not just over there in the one country, but all around the world. And yeah, I think really it's a game of perspective and keeping things in balance. 40 hours, 150 grand, I think I can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, keep in mind the 40 hours. So I'm going to show you one last video to kind of close our program today. But this woman, she lives outside the United States, and she spent exactly 40 hours, according to her, over 6 months. Okay, over 6 months.
Yep.
She bought it. She did what she had to do to get it sold and so on. She's a grandmother. She's a grandmother. And wait till you see that. I'll let her describe it better than I did, but I will tell you this. She made $100,000, and she didn't have a lot of money. She bought it from her daughter. She bought it from her relatives. She bought it from other people in the neighborhood. And she only invested $35,000, and she got $135 back. That's what. So let's just watch her video and just know that she put 40 hours into the total program in 6 months. That's all she did. Here she is.
I'm Shannon Ulrich. A year ago today, we hadn't heard of Ted Thomas. With selling my first tax deed, I made 2 times my yearly salary in that 6-month period. We paid around $34,000. And then 6 months later, we were able to sell it for $135,000, which was 3.7 times our investment. Taking action can be frightening when you're stuck in a rut. I mean, unless you want to be a drone all your life. I have a friend that refers to people that go to work 9 to 5 as drones. Yeah. 1 year after meeting Ted Thomas, I am a happier, wealthier person that I feel alive, and I feel my potential more than I did a year ago. This program has given me 2 more years of my life where I didn't have to be going to an office. So it was no biggie to quit my job. Now I get to be a grandma, and every day is a Saturday.
Okay, now her name was Shannon, and we didn't have time. We don't have time today, but another time when we get together, I'll also put her son on. Her son went with her, and they had a lot of fun going to auctions and so on. And they did it online, they did it offline, and now they're working on their third. They're working on a third property, and they haven't been doing this for 1 year. So there you go. So everyone that's watching this, there's going to be a lot more coming in the future. So you need to pay close attention. If you come to the event, you'll be shocked what I'll tell you in 2 hours. We only had a few minutes tonight.